Boom. What's up now? Welcome to the channel. It's your boy EVsmokeATX. Doing this video, I'm not going to be long because I got some stuff I got to do here. Kind of crunch for time. But I had to sit here and do this video here. It was because of, the storm out here. I would say out in Dallas. It's this well-known media, Dallas News out there in Dallas, Texas, had posted something about, just showing particularly, cars sliding down a hill, because of the icy roads. And of course, it was a Tesla. Little did they know, the first thing I saw, when I saw that, I was on my thing scrolling, I saw it was a Tesla. First thing, I had time, so I went to, went to the comments, and sure enough, I was looking, doing what I would do, and saw what I saw. But it was one that caught my eye. Of course, everybody was, it was a Tesla, just because it's a Tesla, like no other car would do that, or have that situation in the weather, not knowing the tire condition, what kind of tires, and people, like I say, people from down south versus up north is totally different when it comes to this snow and icy driving. Let's just, if you know, you know. Up north is totally different. You got change on tires, you got tire weather change, you got, and so on and so on. But that's another story. But the comments, it was one that really just stood out to me. And I felt like, wow. It was one here, I'm finna show you right quick. It was one from a so-called well-known wheel and tire company out in Dallas, Texas, Omar Wheels. He basically got to get in the comments and make his little, his opinion. His thing was Teslas are trash, then the smiley face. This is a wheel company now, so that's how he feel. So I'm finna show you this right quick, and you tell me what you think, and we can talk about it, okay? Check this out.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh damn, boy! Damn!
Okay, next then, the Tesla hater post comment.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh damn, boy! Damn!
Okay, you saw that, right? And there was one more too I forgot to show. I want to show you right quick. Check this one out. It was one guy. It was a couple comments or so, but there was another one. It was another one that caught my interest, and I told him, and I really thought it was funny. It was a sense of humor. I told him I do have a sense of humor. People have a sense of humor. I thought it was funny. It was a funny one. So basically, he was saying right here. I'm going to show you right quick, but he said, if it's a Tesla, by being a Tesla, does that make it electric slide? And he said electric slide because the car was sliding, which I thought that was funny and hilarious. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed and laughed on that one. I even told him, gave him a prop and saluted him on that one, though. That was funny, though. But, man, we can have a sense of humor and so on, But, I get all the jokes and so on. But, I mean, when it comes to, it's a difference between the jokes and your true hate. We know the true Tesla hate out there, So that's why you got me. I'm going to debunk it or say something on it if I feel like it. Because, hey, it's your right. You got a right to say what you want to say. You got a right to respond and say back, what I want to say and so on. Or my people or whatever. So, but yeah, check this out right quick and I'll be right back. Check this one out.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh damn, boy! Damn!
Boom. Okay, we're back. So you saw that one. Like I said, I thought that one was quite hilarious. I ain't gonna lie, I told him that was funny, electric slide. But anyway, but yeah, so back to the matter at hand. So I want to say this and address this right quick. The gentleman Omar Wheels and Tires. I just don't understand by you being a wheel and tire company, have an establishment. So what is it that you don't? I'm just curious. I just want to know what is it he don't serve electric vehicles, or let's say Teslas. Or, somebody come up with a Tesla, he don't serve them. Is that the case? Because why would you want to? Why would you want to? Make that publicly be known that you don't really care for Teslas. I just find that kind of weird and just weird and all. Once again, that goes back to the era. This generation is totally different because, like I said, once again, I was brought up in the era where just because I see something that I didn't like or didn't care for, as long as it didn't affect me or did anything to do with me, I don't have to speak on it. That's just how we was brought up. But this generation and this internet is just totally weird now. That's neither here or there. But by you being a wheel company, how do you think that look? Just think about it for a second. How do that really look for you to sit there and I guess express your true feelings there in the comments just to get the likes, the response and the laughing and so on and so on. So I just find that kind of funny and odd. So I'm gonna say this by being being in the car game for a while and so on. Me personally, and I would say this to all my people out there, whether not even just you're a Tesla owner, I mean, you just got to think about it. If a person sit there, that tells you about their personality, or to tell you about their self as well. Now, I'm going to show another thing right quick. Well, you can look it up for yourself, some of the Yelp reviews, and he got a 3.5 on there from the Yelp reviews. That 2.5, I'm sorry, 2.5 on the Yelp reviews. So that basically tell you about, that tell you about it as well. Again, 2.5 out of 5, I see some comments on that. And then also, too, I got word on other people after I made this, because I did do a post on my social media, Instagram, that, I was going to make a video on this because I felt some way about it, just because we got a group, like Facebook groups and so on with Teslas and so on. People talking, people, listen to who they recommend and so on. So I want to, say I was going to, talk with my people and, put this out there, let this be known. That's how this man feel out in Dallas, Texas about Tesla. So, hey, if I wouldn't recommend taking my vehicle there, or somebody, or you care about your vehicle, I wouldn't take it there, just because that's how he feel about a certain brand or whatever at that time, of that particular brand. And, God knows who else, what else brand and so on. But I found it funny that you say you don't like it, but then when the Cybertruck first came out, it was a African American. I ain't gonna say the name or whatever, but their Cybertruck, it was wanted to be the front and center and so on and so on. But I found out, that got reworked after the fact, but that's neither here or there. But it's all about if it's beneficial for you. It's just all about the money, you know what I'm saying? There's no morals and ethnic respect and anything about there in there, so that's another story, but people, hey, I would say this. People, just think about it. If somebody blatantly say something like that about a brand, because, like, for example, me, it's certain cars out here I don't care for, I don't even, don't desire for, or whatever, but I would never disrespect nobody or even put that out there. That's my opinion. I keep my opinions to myself, I don't have a wheel entire company, but it's just a fact of people, because I have been to places where people, they don't really care for EV, but they told me, I seen your car, et cetera, I respect that you different, woo. But not just, not trying to make it about me on that, but it's just the fact that people like what they like. Everybody, everybody don't like the same thing. Everybody's opinion or your opinion of what you feel shouldn't be made public all the time. It's not necessary, but it is to me. If you're a business owner, you got an establishment that you blatantly say this, and I feel that people that once they see this or get word about this, they should take this in consideration, because I don't think it's cool. But hey, I ain't trying to tell nobody to do what you do, but it's some other good companies out there. I got him mixed up with one company at first. I thought he was associated with another person that, that we probably looking at doing business with once we get our Cybertruck here soon, and, going to work with as well, and maybe on Smoke as well. But I touched out to them just out of respect, just make sure that he was with them and just to see what was what with Buddy, what he was on, because I felt, I thought that was weird. But I'm gonna give an example right quick, and I ain't gonna, we ain't gonna be too long with this. But I'm gonna give an example here. So listen to me here. I want to just give this example. Let's just say, for example, and Tesla owners know this, or some don't know this. Like for example, with my vehicles out here in Austin, I deal with discount tires a lot out here in Round Rock. They have the proper equipment to jacking the vehicles up and so on, and taking, doing it properly and everything. Because if somebody don't know this, or just don't care or give a f about it, they can actually damage some stuff up under there that will cost you in the long run. Your battery pack shield, your seal, and things like that. It's jack points and things like that. But if you take your car to a shop to get some tires or wheels or whatever get done to it, if they don't do it right and properly, you can cause some damage that will bite you in the butt later on down the line. So just keep that in mind. I'm telling you from experience. So I can see something like that. Not to say, I'm not saying that will happen ever before, but who's to say, by him don't even like the brand, like he think it's trash, so he'll treat it like trash as long as he get your money. As long as he get your money for your, for the products that he's selling or trying to sell you. Because that's why, I've been studying, that's what it seems about. But I ain't gonna lie, I got a DM I would show, but I ain't finna get into all that. I even touched out to him a while back, sometime beginning end of last year, about doing some business with, asking some questions and so on, and trying to see about doing some business with him. But things happen for a reason, so this just brought me make that light bulb pop up, and things happen, like, hey, so I know not to cross that out. Not to do no business with that guy, because of, hey, he don't like Teslas, and that's how he feel that they're trash, So why would I take my vehicles or deal with him or recommend him to anybody that I know or care about or rock with? And another thing too, I noticed he blocked me. He blocked me on Instagram. And it's funny, you go to that website, you can Google the name and it'll pull up, and you say website, it pull up their lander. You click on website and it'll just take you to the Instagram. That's neither here nor there. I ain't got no real web page, but just the Instagram. But anyway, I'll show you right quick. If I click on it now, basically say it's not exist because I'm blocked. He blocked me. I didn't disrespect him, or I didn't say anything crazy. I just told him, that's how you feel, et cetera, et cetera. That's not cool, But so from my understanding, because I try to go back and look at the comments under that previous post that led to this, it showed that I was I couldn't see his name, so that's why I determined I was deleted. So I went back to the DMs that we had conversations a while back last year, and I clicked on the profile, and of course, I was blocked. So I was like, wow, he blocked me. But I'm not hurt or butthurt or anything about it, but he blocked me. That's another thing to tell you about somebody. Like, why would you block somebody for something like this? But hey, that just make it worse if you ask me. Next thing I would say, when I clicked on it, when I was trying to go back and look at the comments, I would say, just to show, but I already had took a screen. That's why I showed you on the previous screen here. That's I did that prior to that, not knowing, not even just to have it, so I can have it when I do this video, but not knowing he was going to delete it. So I go back, because I got two or three phones. The house, everybody, people I know got Instagram, so I can just go, by you block me and block my pages or whatever, it's nothing for me to go to another profile or whatever and, pull you up, stop it. Okay. So I went back to that thing, and so far as I look, it's like he deleted the comment. I guess somebody just, told him, hey, it's not good to, it's not good to do that or whatever. I don't know the case may be, but he deleted it though. But I just feel that is so freaking ironic, that you would say something like that. So people, you see this. I'm not making this up. This is not my thing to try to go, I take time on my day to do this video on some stupid stuff like this because of, this how he feels. I just want to, I want everybody to know. And I done talk, a couple other people from back that way hit me up and told me, you're not a good person to do business with. So I'm not going to get into all that, but I saw some stuff and I'm like, wow, but that's neither here or there. My whole ideal and the reason why I'm making this video just to be the people that rock with me and know, I know, I'm about what I'm about. take that in consideration if you know somebody or that way looking to do business with that man, because that's just bad business. Once again, you can keep your thoughts and your comments about a product to yourself, especially if you so-called work. So, but like I said, I don't know. You may have a thing that say you don't work on Teslas, you don't deal with Teslas or EVs or whatever. But like I said, I kind of figure I'm a gambling man. I would gamble on that. I bet you that's not the case, because like I said, I seen that Cybertruck when you did that Cybertruck for that person, for that guy. Back in the days when it first came out, to go viral and everything, you was all on the face of that, coming Omar wheels, woo. I guess he found that was the right to do, what I'm saying? But I'm just going to address this, the proper way, the more professional way, I would say. And just, like I said, you got your right to say what you want to say about how you feel about Teslas. And I can say what I want to say to respond back to your comment there, and that you want to, put out there. So I just want to do this video and get my point across for all my Tesla guys, girls, people, community. Hey, put the word out there. I wouldn't do no business with this guy in Dallas, Texas. There's other options, you got other options out there to choose from out there in Dallas, in that area. So I wouldn't deal with him. Check out the reviews. Check out the Yelp. Like I always say this saying, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Them Yelp reviews, 2.5 out of 5, it speaks for itself, It's more things I know about this person that I heard, but I'm not going to put that out there. It's not that type of live, it's not that type of channel. I don't really, I really don't like doing this, but I mean, me, if you know me, I do things and try, put it out there to debunk this, We all got our own feeling. We have the right to like what we like. But once again, we have a right to express how we feel on the reaction on someone else, what I'm saying? Because like I said, if you know me, I'm about mine. I'm about what I believe in. Only reason why, because I'm heavy invested, That's my personal choice. It's my personal choice. Remember that. I'm invested. But anyway, let's go out right side. I want to go outside right quick and give an update on the weather here in Austin, Texas with that snow. I think we back on the right track as well. Check out the other videos that I have about this storm and so on, and my Tesla power walls. Prepare the home for this bad weather out here if we wish to lose power and so on. So come right quick. Let's walk out there and check out the update right quick on that as well. Right quick. Come on. Let's go. I'm gonna keep it rolling. Let's see. I'm gonna keep it rolling. Yeah, shout out to Wayfair. So my wife got to hold our shoes there. Shout out to Wayfair. Got to do a video on that. Look at that. Nice and sunny out here. The sun shining and beaming. I ain't even look at the app to see what kind of produce energy we done produce here. We got that sun beaming, so I know anytime I got that sun out, you know what I'm saying, love it, because I know what's happening. We producing our own energy right there with the solar panels. So check that out. I'll talk about all that as well. But yeah, as you can see out here, the snow is melted. I don't think we're gonna have bad weather tonight. I think we back to normal for now. Got a little ice here and there. That's melting. But anyway. But yeah. Back to business. So yeah. It's your boy EV Smoke. I just want to, express that, about that. People. I'm not trying to tell people what to do or recommend, just I felt that if a company feel that way about a brand, why would you take your vehicles there or deal business with that? Because that's not right. Once again, you don't like something, it don't hurt nothing to keep your opinions to yourself. But hey, it's just America. This is the generation we in nowadays. People can't keep their mouth shut. But that's neither here nor there. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more. Can't wait for race season to start. It's your boy EV Smoke. I'm out. Peace. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. and hit the notification bell.